Today we're going to begin working with the tiled map creator tool, but before we get started with that, we'll want to make sure we have our project set up to best support that. So we'll need to add some new folders to our scrolling shooter content. The first of these is going to be one to contain our tile sets. So we'll go ahead and create a new folder, name it tile set, and we want to go ahead and import those particular files. So if we go and load our existing items, we want to go find our remastered Tyrian graphics folder, which in my case is on my desktop. And the files that we'll be using for our tile maps are actually found these long rectangular shapes files that we skipped over earlier. So we're going to go ahead and add all of those to our project. And just like with our other project, we'll want to go ahead and change the color key so that these, if they do have transparent areas, don't show up, which our color key in this particular instance is 191, 220, 191. That's the kind of aqualine color that we used in the sprite sheets. Okay, and the next folder we're going to create is one to actually hold our tile maps themselves. And these tile maps will be created with tiled. So if we pull up the tiled editor, it will look something like this. And the first step we'll want to do here is actually create a new map. And we'll be using an orthogonal map, and we might set our width to be depending on the size of our tiles, which is actually a very good question. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of those sprite sheets and see just how large a tile we're dealing with. So if we were to use the selection tool and pull out one of these individual tiles, we might see that actually it's very hard in this particular case to figure out how large our tiles are, but it's actually the size of one of these, and the combined tiles are just set up so we can see what the actual tile would look like. And our bounding square in this case is, and let me put this to where you can actually see it, our selection size is 24 by 28. So now if we go back to our map, we want to set our width of our tiles to 24 and our height to 28. Maybe 40 tiles wide, and let's go ahead and make our game world pretty tall. And now we can see it's laid out for us, our game world. And we have a lot more horizontal than we do vertical. And we'll want to go ahead and go to our map and create a new tile set. And here we're going to actually load our existing tile sets. So we can go into, in my case, on desktop in the XNA folder, then the scrolling shooter for a project, and in our content project in the tile sets folder. So we're going to add the first shapes here. And again, we need to inform it the size of our tiles, which is 24 by 28. Everything else looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and use a transparent color as well, and if we remember our tile sets, our transparent color is 191, 220, 191, and it's this kind of aqualine blue-green. And we can see the tile set is actually loaded for us, and if we wanted to, for example, start drawing, we can pull brushes and selections and draw this onto our screen. And maybe I want to extend this and make it a wider thing. cap off our ends. So immediately we can see this is a fairly straightforward way of creating a map. And our last step is we want to make sure we save our map. And here we're going to save it into the tile maps folder. Oops. Of our scrolling shooter project, which in my case is an XNA scrolling shooter content tile maps. And that covers getting our file structure set up to begin creating and editing our tile maps.